Hello, hello. So, there's a possibility, I know this is a holiday weekend, that there won't be many people on the live. So, whoever's on, you can say hi. And we're going to do some very deep healing. Like, if you've been feeling any type of fear and pain and everything today, hi, Piri, get ready. Get ready today for some big healing. Hi, Wilo. Okay, so this is exciting today. Like, I'm actually excited because I'm going to ask you right away to get a paper and a pen. We're going to be doing shadow work a little bit. It's going to be a mix of shadow work and releasing a lot of fears. And we're going to distinguish between intrusive thoughts and things we don't like versus fears and all that. And we're going to be all releasing it through a guided meditation. But before I start, if you can get a paper and a pen, and we're going to write down these things, and this will change your week. Okay. This is some deep internal reflection. Okay. Yes, period's exciting. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm super excited. So I'm not going to be repeating it if there's new people that jump on the live stuff like this, because I'm going to be, this is recorded and I'm going to put this on because I want everybody to get this healing because it's really deep. Hi, Mark. All right. All right. Paper and a pen. Okay. And you are going to write down, I did this whole thing this morning. Okay. There are two different types of fears. What we think that are fears, sometimes what we think are fears are not fears. Okay. They're just things that we don't like. So if I ask you right now, what don't you like? Then a lot of people will say, I don't like the cold air. I don't like, I wrote it down. I don't like bad drivers. I don't like cleaning up. I don't like there's a whole bunch of different things that you don't like, but there's a difference between you don't like it because of a fear, or you don't like it because it's just a natural instinctual thing that you don't like as a person. So what you're going to do is you first need to distinguish between fears and between just things that are unpleasant to you. You have to write, I don't like crowds. Okay, so we're going to do these two things. You're going to write down things that you don't like that involve your senses. For example, food that you don't like. What are foods that you don't like? What are colors that you may not be fond of? Like a color, when you look at a color. Something that you look at that just doesn't resonate with you. Maybe a texture. Textures, sometimes people don't like corduroy or sticky things, or I'll give a funny example. Pimple popping, some people love to look at that, and some people are so super disgusted. Okay. Smells. What are smells that you can't stand? Baby diapers. Garbage. Like, what are smells that trigger you? They're and I'll tell you in a second, so write this down. What are sounds that you hear? Like, some people don't like the sound of like gunshots, like loud sounds, and some people don't like whispering, or like if I do something trigger, or like the sound of my fingers. Hi, Reed. Sound of my fingers on a chalkboard. So you write that down. What are sounds that you don't like? So these are not fears. Things that you don't like, those are not involving fears because they're involving your senses. You have an immediate response. If you hear fingerboard like on a chalkboard and you're like, and it's an immediate response, immediate, within seconds. It's like as if I had a baseball right now and I threw the baseball at you, and some people react like it's an instinct thing like this, right? So yes, smells for you, Wilo. So I'm very, very high sensitive to smells. And there's some smells that they trigger me right away. So those are not involving fears. Those don't have to do with fears. Fears are things that have to do with your emotions. So if you don't like Bad drivers, that's from a fear. It's based out of a fear. If you don't like big crowds, that's from a fear. If you don't like family gatherings, that's from a fear. If you don't like anything that is coming from an emotional state. Now, these are the questions that you're going to write down. Right now, you're going to ask yourself. So before we do this meditation, I need you to write down exactly what I told you about using your senses, every one of your senses, touch, textures, things that you don't like. That those are just things that are unpleasant to you. Okay. Fear, then yes. So you're going to write down fear that my kids are in pain. Of course, that's a big fear that parents have. So let's say right now, you're going to ask yourself, what are the fears? You're going to write them down. Just random. Is it rooted in trauma? Not all the time. Sometimes it's just something that may have happened to you when you were little that wasn't very traumatic. It was just you got an emotional reaction from it. So let's say you're somebody that doesn't like bad drivers, for example, and you have road rage. So you're driving and then somebody comes in. Maybe what happened is when you first started driving, you got a couple of people that scared you because they cut you off and you got an emotional reaction to it when you started driving. So now, as you're older and you're comfortable, instead of getting scared, you go into anger. It turns in from fear to anger. Fear of becoming a mom. That too. I actually know a couple of people that have a fear of becoming parents. So that could be, again, you witnessed your parents or other parents and you saw it, and it always originates. So an emotion is from fear. Okay. So this is what you're going to ask yourself. You're going to write at the top, what do I? So in your journal, what do I? And then you're going to ask yourself, condemn. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you're going to write a list of 2. So when you write, what do I? And then you're going to write for others and for myself. Okay, this is really deep healing, I'm telling you, because we're doing a meditation after. So when you start doing this, you're going to see all these things are going to come up in the meditation and you'll be able to release them, because the number one key is awareness. Everything, these things are all in your subconscious. So you're going to write, what do I, for myself and for others, what do I condemn in myself? So what do you condemn in yourself? What do you think that's something that you do that you think you shouldn't do? You condemn. Some people get very loud when they're angry, so they condemn themselves. They're like, no, I shouldn't. Some people condemn themselves for not reacting. Some people condemn themselves for crying or anything at all. So you're going to write down, what do you condemn in yourself? What do you condemn in others? So a lot of people condemn a lot of stuff. Actually, I'm not going to bring this up because there's political views, religious views that you condemn in another. Okay. Hold on. Okay. After we do this, you have no idea how healing is. Okay. What do I judge? Similar to condemn, but not as much, because condemning means you think it's wrong, completely wrong. Okay. Is condemn another word for hate? Kind of, sort of. It's because we're going to actually say, what do you hate as well? So condemn is something like, it has a lot to do with religion and politics. It's something that you will not see the opposite side. This is to your core, like you condemn it, like murder. Most people, some people who are vegetarian, I condemn animal cruelty. I condemn something that you will never be, like you cannot see yourself seeing the other side. No matter how much people talk about saying, hey, this abuse, things like that. These are like condemn. You condemn it. So you write that down, but you condemn things in yourself as well. Okay. Now this is a hard one. This is why this is going to be, it's recorded. I'm going to upload it and you can do this as many times. And by the way, every week you can come out with these new things. Okay. You can do the hate. So like Mark, like you said, what do I hate? What do I hate in myself? And do I hate in others? It could be physically. Exactly. It's kind of like, what do I, yeah, exactly. What do I value is kind of the condemn. It's a little bit opposite, but you're going to also write, what do I value? It's kind of the positive side. It's kind of against your morals. Exactly. Okay. So what do I hate? So you can say physical, you can say even spiritual things. Some people hate the spirituality in yourself and others. So what do you hate? There's a lot of things. Now, right now, what we're doing now, I'm going to ask just a couple of more things that you're going to write. When you're going to notice that whatever is unconscious in your, not unconscious, in your subconscious, okay, hi, Tracy, you're going to now bring it to the surface. So everything in the unconscious. So we are just scratching the surface. This is like 0.001 what we're doing today. But the more you do this, the more you're going to notice some very deep healing. Okay. What do I believe? What do I believe in myself? What do I believe in the world and others? So let's say what I believe in myself. I believe that I'm a loving person. I believe that you could say something bad as well. I believe that I'm not very kind. I believe that you can say, okay, but we're focusing on fear. So you're going to probably want to, hey, Kelsey, you joined at 11:11, meant to be. So actually there, what do I believe? I believe that, you can even write that. 11:11 has a meaning. You can write that. What do I believe in the world, which is 11:11 has a meaning. What do I believe in myself? And the last, there's two last things is, what do I feel anger towards? What makes you angry? And there's a lot of weird, I know this sounds all like synonyms, right? When you're writing down these things, they sound like similar, but they're not. And once you start really digging through, you're going to notice. So what brings me anger in myself? And what brings me anger in the world? And then the last one is very, very important. What do I avoid? What do I avoid in myself? And what do I avoid in others? Okay. Now, these questions that I'm about to tell you are very important. I'm going to ask you two questions that you may not be able to answer right now. Okay. So you write this down, these two questions that are very, very deep. After you've answered all these, what would you do if you felt different from all these things? Everything that you just judged yourself on. You condemn, murder. You condemn, you hate this in yourself. You hate it in the world. You avoid this in yourself. You avoid that in the world. You value this. You're feeling anger. Oh, another good one I just thought of is, what do I expect? I just thought of that one. What do I expect? That's a deep one that I think you guys, if you want to go back and write that. What do I expect in myself? And what do I expect of others? And the question is, what would you lose if you felt different? So for example, if you expect things from others, if you stopped expecting, what would you lose? What do you think you would lose? Vulnerability. I mean, would you think, some people think that by expecting others, they would lose their authenticity and their boundaries. Some people think by losing their anger will make them weak. So what would you lose? The second question that you're going to write, and by the way, I know this is, I'm saying this quite fast, but I need, after the meditation, what I'm doing now, it's pre-meditation. It's kind of like bringing all the subconscious stuff to the surface. So while we do the meditation, so every time you do a meditation, this one, the fear one, you have to do this exercise from the beginning. Like I told you, the immediate responses from your senses, okay? But you write, and then the other one is the emotional responses. But you said, what would you lose? You have to really look internally, because Wilo, I see that you wrote nothing. You wouldn't lose anything. We all would lose something. Like if you look deep internally, whatever you fear, when you're holding on to fear and anger, something you're avoiding, something you expect, let's say your kids to behave a certain way, you expect life to treat you this way, you condemn other things, you think that other people are, what do you believe? What do you believe in yourself? What do you believe in others? So there's always something that you're holding on to that you think that you're going to lose something. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the fear. So this is some deep work. If you think you're not going to lose anything, then you still want to grip onto the fear. The fear is going to stay there. So what we're going to do in this meditation is, if you think that you won't lose anything, we're going to bring that to the surface. It's going to be a little bit of a triggery meditation, but very healing. Okay. The other thing is, what would I gain if I felt different? What would you gain? So if you felt different when you condemn people, when you judge people, when you hate something in yourself and you hate something in others, what would you gain? There's a lot that you can gain. So I meant, if I don't expect anything from anyone, I lose nothing. We do lose. I'll give you an example, Wilo. I'll give you an example of expectation. So if you expect something from someone in the world, because we all have expectations, every human being has expectations. When we get disappointed, the feeling of disappointment, right? I'm going to get my tissue box. When we feel disappointment inside, that we're like disappointed in our kids or in somebody else or in others, is because we have an expectation, which is okay. It's okay to have expectations, because all humans have expectations, right? But what happens is, when we are having unrealistic expectations, our expectations are a little hard, that they're could be hurting other people. That's when the fear is involved. We're putting so much pressure on the world, on ourselves. So what do we do if we lose the expectation? I'll give you an example. If you expect your partner to be a certain way towards you, if you don't expect anymore, what are you going to lose? Boundaries, self-respect. Do you understand? If you don't expect anything from your partner, then you're going to lose. You'll feel like, wait a minute, if I don't expect this, I won't get it. And I may lose respect. I may lose. Do you guys know what I mean? What would you gain? So then you think, okay, what would I gain if I lost expectation? It's hard work, okay? Letting you know, this is not easy. But if you do this, okay, and you do this work, and then we do this meditation that we're about to do, I expect my family to understand me. Disappointed for so long from friends and family members. You feel anger for years. And then when you stop expecting, you get sad, right? Because you feel lonely. So that's another thing of expectation. Say, wait a minute, if I stop expecting people to do something, I'm going to end up really sad. So what do I gain? Okay, I gain self-respect, but I gain sadness. So your fear is of boundaries. So expectations become boundaries. So maybe what you expected was mixed up with boundaries. Do you understand? So all we're doing here is bringing unconscious feelings to the surface. And every single one of us here is different. We all have different reasons. I'm mentioning boundaries, but I've noticed when people are disappointed, they always say, I'm going to lower my expectations. I got shivers, Mark. That is true. When people expect something, they're saying, I'm going to lower my expectations. And then by lowering their expectations, they're getting more and more sad because it's not benefiting them. But we have to remember that boundaries and expectation, all that. So when you get to the root of your fear, Okay, so what I did for myself years ago when I didn't understand about the boundaries and expectation, what I did for myself is I went deep into understanding that when I lowered my expectation, I don't expect anybody, but now I ended up feeling alone. I felt lonely all the time because I had no expectations. When I realized I was angry at myself for not setting boundaries and not just living my truth. And we can't expect. All we can do is live our truth. And I started realizing, hold on, living my truth means vulnerability, authenticity, boundaries. So all these things come to the surface. I felt that disappointing in our kids. Yes, we expect things from our kids too. We expect things from the world, and we think they're disappointing us. And we're taking it personally when in fact, it's a fear. It's all coming from a fear. Everything that we feel that's in this, you know how we say love and fear, there's those two are the strongest. It's like you have all the emotions and you have love and then you have fear. People think it's love and hate. Hate comes from fear. When you're hating something, it comes from a place of fear. Fear is the main emotion that we react to anger, we cry, we get like this. Vulnerability and boundaries is something I've been working on. A lot of us have. I set boundaries this year more than ever. And now they don't look at me and say hi. Because maybe by sending your boundaries, then you had your expectations were still high. So what we're going to do today in this meditation is we're going to go deep into our fears. Okay. But you need to do, like I said, you need to do this work and be very clear again about what you don't like using your senses. Those are not fears. Some people say they don't like spiders and they think that this is a fear that they want to get rid of. This is an instinctual fear. Okay, an instinctual fear that is passed down from generation to generation. It's in our DNA. We have a lot of people have these common fears, and those are fears that you can have when you're little babies. Listen, my daughter was scared when she was one of these little spiders crawling. She was like, it's an instinctual fear. These are not the fears that are stemming from emotions. These can be passed down. These are instinctual that are using your senses, your sight, your sound, things that you don't like. Remember that. The second thing, fears that come from emotions can be released. Okay. So fears that come from your senses, you can work on that too, but those are physical things that you can work on. If you don't like the texture of, there's desensitizing, those that you can do that with therapy. You can do that too. Desensitizing, fear of, let's say, I have a fear of dark lakes. So I do it. I go into the dark lake. You fight your fears. So fighting your fears or desensitizing your fears, those are just fears that you're kind of born and just kind of came inside, just popped up. But emotional fears, you can release. Those are set from random things that something happened to you in your life, very small. And even a fear of, let's say, having the house messy. Not like if you hate having dishes, or for example, I used to hate the house being a mess, and then I went and dug and dug and dug in, and I found out the fear was being judged of having a messy house. Fear of not accepting that it's messy. I cannot always do this. So where does that fear come? Perfectionism, stuff like that. When you get into the root and understand there's a fear that is set in our unconscious. And like I say in most of my videos, we only live with 5% conscious mind. Everything that we're doing is 5% functioning on 5% conscious mind. 95% of how we behave and what we do is unconscious. So what we're doing now is trying to bring the unconscious to the surface so you can live a little bit more in awareness. And by living in awareness, you become aware of yourself, of others. There's less judgment and there's less fear. And when you do feel the fear and it arises, you don't avoid, you don't condemn, you don't judge. You don't show as much anger. You don't expect. You don't do these unhealthy things. You kind of go, oh, I'm avoiding. What am I avoiding? And you end up completely looking internally, and then the fear doesn't overpower you. And this is something that I thought about, okay? Picture fear, okay? So your mind, okay, is a house. So right now I'm in my house. This is my mind. So all of your houses, apartments, wherever you're living is your mind. And fear is like unwanted guests. Speaking of holidays. So we don't want the fear. They just open the door. They just have the key to it. They open their door and they come in. They're like, hey, I'm here. And the unconscious fear are like unwanted guests that are living in your attic. You don't know they're there. They're like squatters. They're just living in your attic and they're taking your heat and they're using your water. You don't know, and they're just draining you, right? So what happens is that when we have these houses and we have these unwanted guests, because love is wanted, right? Love is like you open it up and you have this beautiful, loving, friendly guest that you really want in your house. Fear is like these guests that you don't really want in your house. They may show up. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge the guests today. Okay. Hi, Tanya. We're going to acknowledge the guests in today's thing. And remember, if you do this meditation without doing the what we just said, if you do this meditation without doing this work, you may not be as successful in releasing your fears, because fears come with awareness. Releasing the fears, the emotional fears, will come with awareness. All right. So let's start. It's not a super long meditation, but it is very, very, very healing. It's going to be quite triggering. Hold on a minute here. This is the one here. All right. So sit comfortably. And what we're going to do is we're going to have our palms to the sky today in this meditation. This means, because we have energy, we use our hands like this. This is being receptive. So however you're sitting comfortably, I want your palms to be receptive. Okay, so we're going to be receiving the information that we need from ourselves, from the universal energy, all that, to go internally and release the fears that need to be released now. Okay, now remember, you can do this meditation as many times as you need, because our unconscious will keep arising, and this will be very healing. Okay, deep breath, relax. Release your jaw. Palms to the sky. We're just staying in the silence. Slow your breath. Let's do this together. Inhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now bring your breath back to normal. Bring your awareness to the top of your head. Relax your head, the back of your head, your forehead, around down to your ears, your forehead, your eyebrows. Relax your eyes. Relax all the way to the back of your neck. Relax your cheeks, all the muscles on your cheeks. Release your jaw. Relax your tongue. Your ears, your neck. Deep breath in. Expand your chest. And as you exhale, relax your neck and your shoulders. Relax your arms to your elbows, all the way to your hands, to your fingertips. Another deep breath in, expand your chest. Relax your shoulders a little more, your chest, and your stomach. Relax your back, your spine, all the way down to your hips. Relax your legs down to your knees, all the way down to your feet, to the tips of your toes. Now I want you to imagine yourself in your home, sitting on the ground on a very thin carpet. And all your furniture is gone. It's an empty home with just you sitting in it on that carpet. You're alone. And you're sitting the same position that you're sitting in now with your palms to the sky. And as you look around and you see in the distance the window and it's raining outside. So you're safe in your house and you're warm. But somehow you don't feel so safe. You feel alone. So let's connect with that part. Right now, what do I believe about the room? What do I believe about myself? What do I hate about the room? What do I hate about myself? Bring your awareness to your heart. Now I want you to think very deeply about something that you judge or condemn in someone. Something you think is morally wrong and bad. Something that deeply upsets you and triggers you. Go into that feeling. Where do you feel it in your body? Now picture exactly that feeling exiting your body and manifesting its way right in front of you, almost as a person. A dark being that is now outside of you that you're looking at. What does it look like? Now this thing in front of you, this being, is everything that you morally condemn, that you judge, and that you hate. And you see it in front of you while you're sitting down, very big in front of you. It's dark and it's overpowering your house. It's everywhere. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But I want you to know that as you're sitting here, you're a beacon of light and it can't enter you. But it is all around you. I want you to imagine yourself putting out your hand, opening up your hand and asking this being to sit in front of you. Without getting angry, knowing that you do feel a lot of bad emotions, dark emotions towards this being. You ask it to sit in front of you very calmly. And as you ask and show love, you see the energy is getting smaller and smaller. And now it's just matching yours. It's a small being in front of you, sitting in the same position, palms to the sky right in front of you. And you see yourself shining a beautiful white light all around you, glowing. And the light is glowing onto the being. You extend both hands to the being. And your heart is beaming with light and love. Now imagine yourself sitting back with your palms to the sky, and this being is just sitting there. We're going to go internally and think of a specific person that has angered us. If you have more than one, welcome these people in your house. People that you hate, whether you know them or you don't, whether they're close or not, whether they've hurt you or not. You welcome them in your home, not in your mind, in your home. And as you see them enter your home, you see their darkness enter with them. Their energy is big, but remember, the light is still shining all around you and nothing can enter you. And then invite everybody to sit all around you on this carpet. And as you extend this invitation, you notice their energy getting smaller and smaller, and they're sitting all around you. Their dark energy is fading into a small energy that is not inside of you, is just around you. Now bring your awareness to your heart and your hands. Feel the energy of your hands building up in your heart, and that energy of pure white light is radiating on the room, onto all these dark parts, all these dark beings that are in your home. Now, as you bring your awareness to your heart, you're radiating love, and all that loving energy is radiating on the room, on the beings. Now, you're going to ask yourself one more question. What do I hate about myself? What do I judge or condemn in myself? You can feel that energy in the pit of your stomach building, the energy of hate. Feel it building. And as it's building, imagine, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine the energy exiting your mouth and turning into a being that is now outside of you. All that hate that you feel, that fear, that anger is now a dark energy outside of yourself. And as you look at this being of darkness, you extend your hand because you know why it's there. You know where it came from, and it didn't come from you. And as you open your hand, the being holds your hand, sits down beside you, and you're now creating unity with all parts of yourself, all parts of other people, the world, planet, the people, the energy and the universal energy all around you, extending to the cosmos above and the cosmos within you. Feel the energy vibrating in your body as you shine that light from your heart all around you. And now you're going to ask all these small beings to go into a special room and to stay in that room, because the fear is there to protect you somehow. And you ask them politely that when you're ready to leave the room and leave the house whenever you're ready. And you ask them with love. And whichever one is ready to leave the house, completely leave your mind. You know that they won't return. And to those who want to stay there and still have a part in your life and your journey, that's okay too. But now you're aware of them. They're now in your conscious mind, and you know to bring your energy to your heart and love all these dark beings that live in your house, that live in your mind. And you befriend them when you're ready. Now, bring your awareness back to your heart. Take a deep breath in. Feel that light, that energy. And imagine yourself exiting the house. And as you exit the house, you can see at a distance a beautiful beach. And you start walking onto the warm sand, and you look outside, and it's a beautiful sunrise. And you see the ocean at a distance, and you walk on the beach. Put your feet in the water, and the water is calm and crystal blue. And as you sit just at the tip of the water, you feel your hands. Place your hands down, palms down, and imagine them in the water. And you feel safe, and you know that you yourself are centered, are connected to you, and are a being of love, and nothing could enter your awareness. Nothing could come into your energy. You are owning your power. Feel all that energy all around you. That is yours. And it is connected with the earth. And there's as much light as we have darkness. Take a deep breath and know it's okay. We're all in this journey together. Whenever you're ready, very slowly open your eyes. Take your time. I'm going to end this live and this meditation with, I love you. I'm here. We're all here for each other. We'll get through this together, and the journey, I believe, is within. I love you guys. I'll see you on Tuesday on my live on TikTok. Have a nice weekend.